Welcome to The Spin. I'm Natalie Kaler. Have you ever hosted a bridal shower or maybe a housewarming or bachelor party? I want you to think of all of the time and expense that you had involved, and then I want you to multiply it by 60. That is what we're talking about on Baby Share. These cards represent all of the 60 women that are going to be in attendance on that day, and we are going to provide a full baby shower for all 60 of these women. It is a huge event and we need everybody's participation. On Thursday, June 7th, we're going to be setting up each of the stores that we're going to have designated for that night. So if you can come that night, ladies, we would love to have you. And then men, on the day of the baby share on Saturday, June 9th, we need men to help transport items to the cars for the women so they're not having to carry all that heavy stuff. And you can see George Chuddick if you would like to help with that. A few weeks ago, I was privileged to attend the Fine Arts Festival competition with our teens. We had 6 teams competing. 1 student sang a song, 2 students presented short sermons, and 3 teams did human videos. All 6 teams totally brought their best for the Lord, and it was really a blessing to watch their talents in action being utilized for the Lord. But there were 2 students who particularly stood out to me on that weekend. The first one was Holly Chuddick. Her anointed message that she gave of her testimony had everybody sitting at the end of their seats and totally convicted about the power of God in their lives. Holly received the first place award for the entire state of Florida, and she's been invited to nationals to compete. We're so excited to see what God is going to do through her testimony as it is shared on a national level. The second student impressed me for an entirely different reason. Nick Matrone was, like what my husband likes to say, Jesus with Nikes and a sweatshirt. All weekend long, everywhere Nick went, he used it as an opportunity to minister to people and to show them the love of God. Everybody he met was Nick's new best friend, and he remembered those people. It was really cool to watch in the 3-hour-long award ceremony as everybody's sitting there and they're calling through each of the competitions. Nick was so excited the entire time. He was jumping up with enthusiasm for people that he had just met, people who he had met at camp, people who he didn't even know, even his competitors. Everybody got a loud cheer and clap from Nick for 3 hours. The rest of us were kind of like getting tired. Not Nick. He was so excited for everybody who was honored that day, and he wanted to make sure that he honored them. But there was also some other things that I saw in Nick that weekend. Everywhere we went, as I said, he looked for opportunities to minister. One time we were sitting outside of Publix eating our lunch. I was supervising some kids there, and we were all on some benches, and Nick went over and he found an elderly woman who was sitting on the bench. He went over and he sat with her and asked her name and talked to her about her day and what her life was like, and totally just spent the time ministering to her and getting to know her. And it was such a blessing to watch Nick, because he totally exemplifies what Colossians tells us about using every opportunity to do good. The teens this weekend reminded me that our teens are not the church of tomorrow. They are part of the church of today, and we need to invest in them just in the same way that we invest in the rest of us who are in this body. Make sure that you find those teens this weekend, even today, and tell them what a blessing they are to this body of believers. And that's The Spin for this week at VLC Spring Hill.